Good afternoon, everyone. Yoga disciplines the mind and soul. It is an art and science of healthy living. In pursuit of overall well-being, Department of Physical Education, in association with Wellness and Sports Group, SJAC, welcomes you all to the webinar on Yoga for Wellness by our very own fourth-year civil engineering student, Ms. Venila Manikanta. Participants, if you have any queries, kindly post them in the chat box and they will be addressed at the end of the session. I now request Ms. Nisha Roch, Assistant Professor, Department of Computer Science and Engineering, to welcome the gathering and kindly introduce the resource person, Ms. Venila Manikanta.
Thank you, Pramila ma'am. A very good afternoon to one and all. I extend a warm welcome to all the students, staff, and faculty members who have taken time to attend this webinar on Yoga for Wellness. I'm indeed delighted to introduce Ms. Venila Manikanta to all of you. Ms. Venila is the daughter of Mr. Neelkanta and Ms. Sumati. She is studying currently in the fourth year of civil engineering at SJAC. Miss Venilla's crown is embellished with several accolades. To name a few, she holds a diploma in Hatha Yoga and she is certified yoga trainer. She is a black belt in judo, mixes martial arts and karate. Miss Vanilla is the Dakshina Kannada district's first woman judoka to get black belt from Indian Judo Federation. She has participated and won a number of medals in state level competitions. To name a few, she won silver medal in the 12th Judo Championship held at Shimoga, won silver medal in junior category in the 38th Karnataka State Judo Championship in the year 2018-19, won gold medal in VTU Single Zone Judo Championship organized by SJBIT Chikballapur in the year 2019-20, won silver medal in VTU Silver Zone Judo Championship at SC Bengaluru in 2018-19. Also, she has participated as referee in the 16th National Level Karate Championship 2018 held at Ganjimat, Mangaluru. Apart from this, she is also a classical Bharatanatyam dancer. On behalf of the Department of Physical Education and Wellness and Sports Group, I extend a warm welcome to you. I request Ms. Vanilla Manikanta to kindly take over.
So, good afternoon, everyone. First of all, I would like to thank the management and physical education department for this wonderful opportunity. So we are all gathered here for a practical session for 1.5 hours. Just let's make a conversation in between. Like I'll explain what is the benefits along with the ancient books reference. Because I'm not saying that modern yoga is not that good, but we should know what is the tradition, what is the base of the yoga. So I'll be explaining that too in today's session. So let's go with yoga mantra. Om yogena chittasya padena vacham malam sharirasya cha vaidyakenam योपाकरोतं प्रवरं मुनीनां पतञ्जलिं प्राञ्जलिरानतोऽस्मि अहिंसा सत्यमस्तेयं ब्रह्मचर्यं क्षमा धृतिः दयार्जवं मिताहारः शौचं चेनयमादशः तपः सन्तोषमस्तिक्यं दानमीश्वर पूजनम सिद्धांतवाक्ये श्रवणम ह्रमति च जपो व्रतम. So let's begin our session with the basic warm-up exercises. First, eye exercise, left to right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Close your eyes. Open. Eye rotation. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Reverse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Close your eyes tightly. Rub your hands and touch your eyes. Okay. Next one is keep your thumb finger and you should concentrate on your thumb finger but should not move your eyes. Okay. Start. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, I can observe my finger. Now again, back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now, next hand. Observe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Back to the position. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now, both hands, your eyelid should face front, but should concentrate on both thumb fingers. It's a very good exercise for eyes and even it will improve your concentration. Let's start. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Again, rotation. 1, 2, 3, reverse. 1, 2, 3. Again, back to the position. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Relax. Close your eyes. Okay. Next, neck bendings. Sides 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Rotation 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Reverse 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, front and back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Next one, which is a very important exercise. Why? Because the one who is suffering from cervical spondylitis, which means cervical spine issues, it's a very good exercise for them. And even one who reads or when you have exams, you are reading continuously for 1 hour and you're keeping your neck down. Actually, while reading, if I'm keeping my book like this, I'll bend my neck like this, right? When you're doing this continuously, hurt. You may feel pain in your cervical or your back. At that time, this exercise will help. Okay, then push, and your head should resist in that force. Start. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Relax. Next side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. Now front push. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Relax. Next, wrist rotation. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Reverse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Next, shoulder. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Reverse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now, slowly bend side. 1, 2, 3. You should feel the stretch in your side. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, relax. Next, stretch your legs straight. So as we know, even athletes or dance, anything, before doing any sport or any dance, we'll do warm-up exercise. Why? Because as we know that to prevent injuries, it's same in the yoga also. That's why we are doing a warm-up exercise. Okay, now fold your leg. It's for your hip opening. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Catch. Make sure that throughout the session, you should not bend your back. It should be straight. Next, lift sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Next, lift up. 1. If you can't lift that much and you can this, that's also fine. 2, 3, 4, 5. Lift more. Make sure that your back is straight. Relax. Next leg. Up and down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Catch. Relax. Next, sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Up and down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Lift more. Relax. Now bend. 1, 2, 3, 4. With your breath. 5, 6, 7, 8, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Catch your toes. Make sure that your back is straight. While bending, if you are bending like this, if you can't touch your toes, that's fine. You can catch your ankle or knee, that's fine. But don't bend your upper, like cervical or thoracic spine, and then don't catch. That is wrong. If you can catch like this and my back is straight, that is good. If you can't, keep your back straight, or take a cloth or belt, hold and make your back straight. Don't do this. Okay, then start 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Bend more. Relax. Now, widen your leg. As I said, in yoga, you should not stress your body. You should not feel strain while you're doing any pose or anything. You should do it with the happy. For example, in this pose, I can stretch this much. And you can't, you can only stretch this much. That is fine. It's your first time. That's okay. But don't hurt yourself. Don't feel stretch this much. So she did, I have to do. No, it's not yoga. Yoga is Sthira Sukham Asanam. In whatever pose you are, in whatever position you are, you should feel ease. You should feel comfortable. So that itself called as asana, which means pose. Now, rotation, slowly front, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Reverse, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Next, side, 1. Here one thing, when you're bending side, I can catch my toes and bend. I can catch with another hand also. Many people will do this. That I'm not telling it's wrong, but when you there is an effect. When you're doing this, your side will stretch completely. When you're doing this, it's different benefit. So try to do side bending and look up. Your chest should face up. Side bending, right? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, now then, keep your hands front. People can bend like this much, or they can bend this, or they can bend like this also. I'm not telling you're doing wrong, but start with the small step. As I said, don't take any stress. Keep your hands like this, bend, 1, 2, make sure your back should be straight. If you are bent, there is no use doing. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now try to go forward and lay down. If you can't, try your best. That's it. Relax. Legs together. Butterfly. Push your knee down and bend forward. Relax. And up. Now, hands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Reverse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now, sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hip rotation. 1. While doing hip rotation, some people will do this. Some people will do only the lower portion, not the upper portion. Both are correct. But if you ask me, this is so effective. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Reverse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Next, bending your spine down and straight. The concept is you have to compress your abdominal muscle and straight. Start. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Legs together. Slowly breathe in. Breathe out. Let me tell you something. So now is around 3 o'clock, 3:30. Actually, this is not the correct time to do yoga because commonly people often have their lunch at 1:30, 2, and they'll have water. The basic set of principle is before doing yoga, even asana, you should avoid eating solid food before 3 hours. Like if you're eating your lunch at 1 o'clock, you should start around 4 o'clock because your digestion, like you'll not feel ease while you're doing asana or anything if you ate something before 3 hours, like before the time. So but it's okay, plenty of you will eat and it's fine. If you are physically active, you can do, but one thing, don't stress with any pose. Okay, do it with the ease. So now I'm doing Surya Namaskara. As you all know, Surya Namaskara should do under the sunlight, which will give you the more benefits. Due to this rain, I can't find sun, so I'm doing under with lights. Okay, so Surya Namaskara should be done minimum 20 times in a day, morning and evening under the sun. Why? Because like I said, we have to do some warm up to our body. Like I can say Surya Namaskara is a moving asana. It's not exactly a yoga asana, but it is a warm up for doing the like further asanas or any poses, etc. So we do Surya Namaskara now only for 2 rounds because of the time. But if you want to get a benefit of Surya Namaskara, you must do minimum 12 to 20 rounds per day, like in the morning 20, evening 20. It will be very beneficial. Let's start with Surya Namaskara. As I said, don't stress your body or don't take any strain while doing. Do it with a happy face. Do it with a happy mind. For just 1.5 hours, don't think about your problems or anything. Just concentrate on this. You will feel the difference after the session. Okay, now 1. Do it with the breathe in, breathe out counts. Breathe in, bend back. Breathe out. As I said, if you can't touch the ground, if you can't touch your leg, touch your knee, that's fine. But one precaution, one who are suffering from back pain, severe back injury, should not do Surya Namaskara. Mainly, one who is suffering from back pain should not bend forward. If they are bending also, this is the limit. They should do under the guidance of any physician or yoga guru. So 2, breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe, hold. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. People may say, by doing Surya Namaskara, they'll lose weight. Actually, they'll lose fat. It's not about weight. For your information, that's it. Again, 1. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe, hold. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Do it with the breathe in, breathe out count. It will be very beneficial, more beneficial than doing it fast. Like in 20 counts, for 5 counts, you can do very slow. For 10 counts, you can do very fast. And last 5 counts, you can do slow. This is usually how they do Surya Namaskara. But it's your wish. There is no such ground rules that you have to do like this, you have to do like that. But concentrate on your breathe while you're doing. Okay, then we are going to asanas. So why I told you that I am referring some ancient books to the poses what I'm showing today, because now, for example, I can say Marjalasana. It is a modern pose which that have very fits in that, but still we should know where it is coming from and what it is actually. Example, Shalabhasana, which I'm showing today. I'll be showing how traditionally they were mentioned in the books, but there can be variations like according to your comfort, and that is fine. Okay, the first one is Vrikshasana, which is mentioned in Geranda Samhita. Vriksha means tree, standing like a tree on the ground. Now, fold your leg and make sure that your heel should touch your root of the thigh. And there shouldn't be any gap. People will do like this, that's fine. But actually, when you are doing, which is mentioned in Geranda Samhita, which is thousands of years ago, they should not leave any space in between the legs. And breathe in, hands up. Stare or concentrate at any single point in front of your view. This will improve your concentration. And while standing on Vrikshasana, concentrate on your breath. Breathe out. See, you can observe that while doing any balancing asanas, your thoughts will be diverted. You will concentrate on how to balance your body. So that itself the first benefit of this asana, which will improve your concentration and which will even strengthen your thigh muscles. Next leg. Breathe in. Normal breathe. Concentrate on your breath. relax. According to psychology, when you have exams or when you are reading something, you can't continuously concentrate after 45 minutes of reading. For example, I have exams now. I'm reading continuously, not in between 15 minutes, 30 minutes. I'll be doing something, balancing asanas or stretching asanas. It's common. It will improve your concentration so that your mind won't be tired by reading. Okay, next. Virabhadrasana, which is mentioned in Yoga Rahasya. Keep your legs side and stretch. Bend your knee straight. It should not, see, people will do this mistake. This is wrong. Even while doing Surya Namaskara, you can observe they will do like this. This is wrong. Like you may hurt your knee severely. When you're keeping your leg like this, your knee should not overlap your toes. It should be at 90 degrees. Okay. Likewise, in the same way, Virabhadrasana, stretch your leg side, turn your feet to your sides. It may be right or left. Okay. And twist your body to your sides. Breathe in, hands down. Breathe in up. Concentrate on breathing. Relax. Breathe in. Breathe out. Next side. Bend. Breathe in, hands up. Breathe out, bend back. Relax. Breathe in. Breathe out. Next is Parshvakonasana. The beginning step, if you can't do, like you can't bend and touch your leg, that's fine. You can be at the first stage itself. I'll be showing how to do beginners how to practice this, and after practicing sometimes you can bend, but don't try like I have to bend, I have to do this. Okay, don't hurt yourself. Slowly turn your feet that side, any side, right or left. Bend your knee. Breathe in, hands up. Breathe out. This is the first stage. And now, if possible, you can bend and touch the ground. There is a mic. Touch the ground. Concentrate on your breath. Breathe in. Breathe out. If you are doing this continuously or regularly, your thigh muscle will get strengthened. And if you have a hip or a belly fat or side fat, it may burn. You can burn your fat by doing this. I'm not saying, I often ask by some questions, like my friends or my relatives, they'll ask me, tell me one asana or tell me one exercise to burn my fat. Tell me one asana to reduce my asthma or back ache, back issue, like a spine issue. Guys, I want to say that I am not an allopathy doctor that I'm giving a prescription of some tablet for one pose, or I'm not giving some medications for one tablet for your fever. It's like you have to do it with the course. If you are having any pain, Only Bhujangasana won't solve that issue. You should do along with the other basic exercises. That's what I want to say. Next side. Breathe in. Breathe out. Slowly keep your hands down and side. Look up. It's not like bending like this. Up. Breathe in. Breathe out. Relax yourself. Next one is Vasayanasana, which is mentioned in Sri Yoga Kaustuba and also in Yoga Rahasya. If you can't make it down, you can stand like that only, but take any support. This is a very helpful asana for sexual ailments. Fold your leg. If you can't do it, you can keep a pillow or you can keep a chair, just bend. Or if you can, just fold and ground straight. And next, fold your hand like this and keep your back straight. Concentrate on your breath and make sure that your heel should touch the root of thigh. Relax. Vajrasana or any comfortable pose. Siddhasana, Vajrasana, Padmasana, or you can aram say sit down. That's also fine. Okay. Now we'll have little conversation. What is yoga? As I can't give you a definition which is there in the book. It's really boring for you people. Even though it's a fact, it will be boring. Simply, I can say where you can gain mental happiness, physical happiness, and even social happiness. How? So some people may think by only doing asana, I can practice yoga. By doing only meditations, sitting for an hour like this simply and thinking about a donut, it's not yoga. Or you can say, yeah, vanilla, I'm doing even yoga, asana, and even meditation or pranayama. Guys, it's not about doing any pose or doing any meditation or doing any some kriyas. It's about combining all with the happiness. As I said in the beginning, in the yoga mantra, there is a beautiful thing called yama and niyama. Yama and niyama. Yama is the ethical values that we have to involve in with ourselves, and niyama is a self-restraint techniques. Not like you should not eat pizza, you should not eat burger. It's not self-restraint. It's about the morals that we have to include in our life. When you improve ethical values, some self-restraints in your life, I'm not telling you to be complete pure, but just practice to develop a good self-value and a ethical value and a self-restraint methods in your life. For example, ethical value, I can say non-harming people, not by even thinking, non-stealing, and being in your own happiness and not cheating anyone. That is some ethical values. And self restraints, like if you want to do, like I want to do my master's till 25 years, I have to concentrate what is my goal. I have to think how to reach my goal. Other than that, if I'm distracting my mind, that is not self-restraint. You're restraining yourself to a particular goal. It may be anything. You can get a job, you're aiming for a job, you're aiming for a degrees, or you're aiming for a abroad studies, higher studies, whatever it is. You should focus on that. That is some those are some self-restraint techniques. And you are asking, yeah, I was there. What is yoga? When you are following these ethical values and self-restraint methods, and even you're doing asanas, and you're cleaning your body and your mind, when you do these things, your social life will be happy, right? You can yourself imagine that how it would be. And not only telling about bathing. You're bathing daily in the morning, evening, afternoon. You're bathing for 3 times. You're brushing your teeth. That's fine. That is body cleaning. But actually, that is not a body cleaning. Are you cleaning yourself inside? Are you cleaning your gut? Or you're eating something and it's there for years, like a friend? It's not actually a cleaning method. You have to drink water enough for your body. You're taking care of your body. It's not like an obsession on your body, like taking care of a simple care, like drinking water on a time, eating something very good, very healthy. That itself says that you're taking care of your body, and it is called self cleaning. With your thoughts, with your body, if you're clear with mind and body, your social life, the one who's there surrounding you, will be happy. Your social life will be happy. It's not said by me. Actually, WHO recommends, if he is a healthy person, he should have a good mental health, good physical health, and good social health. So you can say, okay, I am going to gym, I can achieve, I am a healthy person according to WHO. I'm mentally happy, I'm physically happy, I'm socially happy. I'm not saying it is wrong. If you are doing with the heartful thinking, you are happy with what you're doing, you're going to gym, you're taking care of your body, you're taking care of your mental happiness, that's good and enough. But I can assure you, 100% yoga can make your body, mind, and social health, which is very important to us. Okay, enough. Then we'll go to the next asana, which is Shalabhasana. From this, sit down in Sthitila Dandasana, turn back, side, and down. This is the actual way how to do when you're doing with the flow. Okay. Now, this Shalabhasana is mentioned in Geranda Samhita, ancient book. Now, keep your hands down. Actually, traditionally, you have to do this. You should keep your hands like this. But fine, in the beginning, it's difficult to do. Keep your hands down underneath your thighs. Rest your chin on the ground. Slowly breathe in, lift your one leg up. Breathe out. Breathe in. Next leg. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Now, breathe in, lift your both legs up. Relax. Makarasana. Actually, by doing this pose, if you are having a sciatica issue or a back pain, it can be a very good asana for that. And even it will burn your belly fat also. Next, Dhanurasana. People who have severe back pain or people who have severe spine issues, they should practice under the guidance. Do not strain yourself. Now, fold your leg, catch. In the beginning stage, keep your chin down, Breathe in, only chest up. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Lift your thighs and chest up. Normal breathe. Relax. Next is Bhujangasana. It is also mentioned in Geranda Samhita. Now, keep your hands beside your chest. Lift your chest up. People will do this. This is not actually Bhujangasana. This is Urdhva Mukha Shvanasana. Bhujangasana means your navel part should touch the ground and your chest should be up. You should feel ease. It's okay if you can't, try it. This is very helpful for who is suffering from lower back pain, lumbar issues. And remember that the one who is having issues with the like injury pain in your back, they should do under a guidance. And even who's pregnant, they also take care of, like they have to do it under a guidance of a physician or a trained yoga teacher. Normal breathe. Now slowly stretch and Urdhva Mukha Shvanasana. Normal breathe. Concentrate on your back. Take a deep breath. Breathe out. Lift your knee up and do Adho Mukha Shvanasana, which is mentioned in Hatha Yoga Pradipika. See, you can see that my heel is touching the ground and I am bending straight. See, this is wrong. If you are doing this, this is wrong. Make sure that your heel should face down. If you can't, don't take it near. Okay, this is wrong. Keep it here only. If you can't, bend your knee. That's also fine. Okay. Down. Normal breathe. Chin should touch the ground. Slowly knee down and Shashankasana. Slowly breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Hands up. Breathe out. Bend forward. Breathe in. Breathe out. Let's take a nap. Sit in any comfortable position and let's talk about food. Then if you're coming to the food, people may say you should not eat junk food. Yeah, Vanilla, I know what you're going to say. You will say that you should not eat junk food. You should not eat that. You should not eat this. I can say you can eat, but don't overeat. If I'm saying, if you are eating, take carbohydrates, which means a burger or pizza. You are eating this morning. You ate this morning, and again you are eating tomorrow also, and again you are eating after 2 days, and again you are eating. That is overeating. And even though I can say that is also overeating, and you feel when you're eating, you will feel full. At some point, you will feel like, yeah, it's enough for me. But because of the taste, or maybe you may think that you should not waste your food, you will overeat. That is a main source of problem. People who are suffering from diabetes or sugar, I can say by even stress also you can get a diabetes or BP or anything. But even the main source of the diseases is food. The food what you are eating, you should not overeat. I can say balance your food. See, if you are eating carbohydrate, should not exceed 80 percentage per day. If you are eating morning, you are eating idli, carbohydrate. Afternoon, you are eating rice with dal or something, that is also carbohydrate. Again, you are eating evening dosa, that's also a carbohydrate. Where are the others? Where is protein? Where is lipids? Where is vitamin A, vitamin B? There is nothing. You're only eating carbohydrate. I'm not saying about only idli, dosa, even pizza, burger. They're also a carbohydrate source. So balance your food. Actually, in Hatha Yoga, they didn't mention about food. Why? Because in my opinion, in ancient days, they were very active, and there is no pizza, burger. And even if they're eating rice also, they'll eat green leaves, they'll eat vegetables, raw vegetables, and the main thing, they're hard workers. So maybe for that they didn't mention about the food, but in present days you have to balance your food. Eat pizza twice a year, thrice a year, or eat something which is full of carbohydrate once in a month, that's fine. But remember that you should take protein also, which is very helpful for your body growth. And you can say people often say that yoga is originated from only in India. It's originated from India. Actually, it's not. I'm not telling that. We may call it as yoga. In even they have the proof that in the same time, yoga was there in Greek, yoga was there in Rome, but in a different names. They were also doing some poses, asanas, meditations. But for a reference, yeah, it's little ancient. Like it is little old in India. Like it is formed first than other countries. That's why we are celebrating that yoga is originated from India. Let's talk about immune system and COVID situation after doing few asanas. Okay, now you're in Vajrasana. Let's do Rajakapotasana, which is mentioned in Kapala Kurantaka Yoga. Okay, breathe in, fold your leg like this. Bend. Okay, it's for beginners. If you can do like this also, but don't do this. Okay, this is wrong, bending your back. Take your spine straight. You can keep any brick or anything beside yourself, and breathe in, breathe out, down, breathe in. This is not actually Rajakapotasana, but it's the preparatory pose for Rajakapotasana. You're comfortable with it, you can catch your leg or you can fold. It's a preparatory pose. And if you're okay with that too, bend, first catch and touch to your head. Normal breathe. Relax. Again here, who's having severe back pain should do under the guidance. But doing this, if you don't have that much pain, it is a very good asana for your back pain, even your spinal cord issues, or if you are having any body pain, this asana may give you a relief. And it's also split your pelvic bone, like how it is stretching. People will do this. This is also a pose. I'm not telling it's not, but this has more benefit. You're stretching it. And some people will keep like this. This is also fine. This is a advanced, it's a traditional pose. And if it is possible, do it both sides, because of the time I'm doing only one side. And if it is possible, you can stretch. This is also good. This is also very good for women whose pelvic is stretching, which is very good for their delivery. Relax. Fold your leg. Sit in Sthitila Dandasana position. Stretch your leg straight. Take a deep breath. Breathe out. Now, Ardha Matsyendrasana. Fold your left leg to your right, base, right side, and keep your right leg over the left leg. If you are a beginner, you can catch and turn. In a second stage, you can keep like this, or completely you can do this. Catch your ankle or catch your toes and turn back with normal breath. Relax. By doing this, if you have any ailments in your gut or in your colon or in your stomach, it will give you relief. Or if you are having any gastrointestinal intestinal problems, it will give you a cure. It will cure it. And I'm not saying that by doing only yoga, it will solve your problem. And also you should follow some food tips also. I'm not saying that eating less, it's not actually diet. Eating less is not diet. Many people often think that if they eat less, they'll become thin or they'll lose weight. That's not true actually. Eating balanced and limited, it will make them make their goal. And next, Paschimottanasana. As I said in the beginning, if you can't bend completely front, don't do this. Okay? People may do this. This is wrong. It's actually hurting your back. You're only hurting your back. Take a cloth or a belt, hold it here first and bend forward. For now, breathe in, breathe out. You can observe that my back is straight. I'm not doing like this. It's straight. If you can't catch your leg, it's okay. You can catch any, or you can only bend this much. That's also fine. Catch, breathe in, breathe out. Then bend your knee, bend your head. Breathe in. This asana is mentioned in Hatha Yoga Pradipika, which is a traditional way what we are doing. By doing this, if you are having any back pain issues, it will cure that. And it's a very good pose for your belly fat burning. And even it's a very good pose for it will be it has some benefits to your liver and even pancreas. Okay, and while you are bending, You are bending from the back. Obviously, it is very good for your lower back, and also your thigh muscle will tone. Okay, next, Baddha Konasana, which is mentioned in Yoga Rahasya. Fold your leg and your heel should touch your root of your thigh. Okay, catch and make sure that your back should be straight. Don't sit like this. Straight. Normal breathe. It's a very good pose for your lower back and for even your pelvic. It's a very good pose for pregnancy ladies also. Breathe in, breathe out. It's a variation. Breathe in, relax. You can lay down in Shavasana. It's also an asana that everyone on the earth can do. That is Shavasana. Keep your hands wide and keep your legs wide. Close your eyes and concentrate on your breath. At the time of your Shavasana duration, I wanted to tell you something which happened recently around 2016. In Japan, his name is Yoshinori Osumi. He's a Japanese cell biologist. He's a scientist, and he got a Nobel Prize on activation of autophagy. That everyone knows that what is autophagy, which is like our body cell is eating or clearing the damaged cell, and it's doing recycling it, or I'm not saying recycling, it can renew or it can be a new cell. That process is called as autophagy. That itself activation that is activating by intermittent fasting techniques. He did a research from 1980 and he got a Nobel in 2016. That you can see that how much effort he put in that research. Why? Because intermittent, when you say intermittent fasting, people may think fasting, yes, I'm eating at 10 o'clock, 10 p.m. and I'm sleeping, and I'm eating again in the morning, 8 o'clock. Vanilla, it is intermittent fasting. No, like when you're eating at 10 o'clock, your body will put all the energy, your cell will put all the energy to digest. That's it. Or like it will be very busy in the night if you're eating at 10 o'clock. I can say in a simple way. But what Yoshinori Osumi told is, if you're following a intermittent fasting for around 12 plus hours to 24 plus hours. For example, if you're eating if you're finishing your dinner at 7 p.m. and if you're eating your breakfast in the morning 7 a.m., which means you're giving exactly 12 hours of gap. People will do this also. I observed. They'll eat at 4. They'll say my dinner is over. Around 7 o'clock, they'll again eat something. Around 10 o'clock, again they'll eat something. And they'll be saying that I finished my dinner around 4 o'clock. I ate solid food around 4 o'clock and I'm eating just little snacks. People say night cravings. I think they'll say that I'll eat 4, I'll eat at 7, I'll eat at 9. It is also intermittent, Vanilla. I'm intermittently eating. It's not intermittent fasting. When you're eating 7 o'clock at the evening and again when you're eating 7 o'clock at the morning, that is intermittent fasting. By doing that, your autophagy process will activate, where the cells will start to work to identify the damaged cells, to identify your the bacteria or viruses which is entered to your body. They'll kill those microorganisms like bacteria and virus, and they'll create a healthy cell. That itself called as activation of autophagy. Even he said that if you are eating at, for example, us, while me, my friend, everybody, we are eating at 6:30, and again we are eating at 10 o'clock. Almost 15 hours of fasting we are doing. We are eating at 10 o'clock in the morning. In between that gap, we'll drink some liquid food, which may be juice. It's not solid. Which may be juice, vegetable juice or fruit juice, anything. That is called as intermittent fasting. Some people want to want to lose their weight, or they want to become burn their fat. I can say if you are doing intermittent fasting with yoga and exercise, it will give you the best results within 6 months. You can feel like, even you can see that some religious movements, like I forgot the country name, but exactly what Yoshinori Osumi said, that in that country they'll be doing 150 days of 150 days of fasting per year. That and he claimed that in that country we can see the most what I can say, uh, the old age persons, they are high in numbers in that country, which means it also helps in longevity, the longevity of your life. So what I'm trying to say is, eat, but eat limitedly, and also follow intermittent fasting for good result. And people often say that if you eat this, you will get immunity power. If you eat this, it will boost your immunity. I don't know why they are telling boosting your immunity. By eating something, it won't boost your immunity. It will give you good content to your body. It will give you good proteins, good minerals, good vitamins to your body. But it will not boost your immunity. When you are doing continuously yoga, when you are doing this intermittent fasting technique, it will boost your immunity. So we can say that I can give you some example. I'm basically from Tamil Nadu, and it's in Tanjavur. When I go to that area, we have some agricultural field in our own in Tanjavur. When I go that place yearly once, I can see my grandma's day-to-day life activities. Like, she'll wake up at 4:30, and for your information, she is around 72 to 75 years old. She's waking up at 4:30. She's making all the cleaning stuffs, washing stuffs, and she's taking bath, and she's even bathing the cows and goats, and she's taking to the agricultural fields, and she's coming back and eating her breakfast at 10 o'clock. Again, she's going to the agricultural field, do some works. She's all a day out under the sunlight. It's maybe sun or even the rain. It is raining. She'll come back at 2 o'clock, eating her lunch, having a nice sleep for 1 hour, and again going to the agricultural field, again doing some stuffs, coming back with the cows and goats, and again she's eating her dinner around 6:30 to 7, and she'll sleep at 8. That's it. Imagine that. I asked her, are you following any intermittent technique which is mentioned by, his name is Yoshinori Osumi. She told, are you stupid? It's my daily life activity. I'm doing this from since it's our culture. It's our culture in this area, that in this village, that we are following from years. It's not about your intermittent fasting or diet. As for your information, she looks younger than her age, and she can run like a PT Usha. When we both walk together, I can't even I can't even compete her. How that itself shows how strong she is. That itself shows that Yoshinori Osumi is correct. Having intermittent fasting is a good thing. And for your information, in India, from ancient days, we are following the same intermittent technique. Now modern days they won't follow people, but from those days they were following. And somehow people put their effort and research. They did research and they gave a results. Why? Because people often will believe when they have any Nobel Prize or doctorate, right? That's the thing. Okay, let's move into the next asana. When from Shavasana, Pavana Muktasana, Sarvangasana, which is mentioned in Yoga Marga, like a Yoga Marga. Slowly lift your waist up, breathe in on normal breathe. I will do for 10 seconds to 15 seconds. But for better results, you should do minimum 3 minutes each asana. Wide your leg, front and back. Slowly bend your leg to the front and keep your hands down. This is called Halasana. Which is also mentioned in Kapala Kurantaka Yoga as Shvottanasana. Slowly down. Stretch your legs straight, Shavasana. As I said, you should practice 3 minutes each asana to get a benefit. And this Halasana and Sarvangasana, it's actually a very good asana for especially women, like who is having irregular periods, or who is having even back. Usually back pain people don't do Sarvangasana, but if they are okay with that pain and all, it's fine, they can do. And remember that for who having severe injuries of back, spine, and who are having severe stomach injuries, they should not practice alone. They should practice under a guidance, like practiced like a teacher, under a physician or a trained teacher. And now Matsyasana, which is mentioned in Yoga Rahasya. Put a Padmasana. If you can't put Padmasana, that's fine. You can sit normally. Lift your chest up and head down. If you can't lift your head up, you can keep any brick here, okay? Or yoga brick or any pillow. Catch your leg and down. Take a deep breath in and breathe out. Concentrate on your breath. Relax. It is actually a very good asana for asthma. If you are doing it regularly, daily, with other asanas also, you can see better improvement in your asthma. Like you can feel the difference. Shavasana. Now Chakrasana or Paryankasana. Lift your waist up. If you can't take a support, who are having severe back injuries should perform under the guidance. It will also burn your belly fat and it will tone your abdominal muscle. Relax. Shavasana. For your information, when you are doing Matsyasana, what we did before, and when you are doing Chakrasana, you should not get up suddenly. You may feel like dizzy. That's because of the unbalancing of your liquid. So you should do it with the ease. Shavasana. Take a deep breath. Breathe out. If you're feeling relaxed, you can get up. Getting up is also have some methods. Turn side, slowly up. Even while you're waking up, if you're sleeping like this, no, some people will wake like this. It's not actually waking up, okay? It's called panic attack. When you're waking up, you are in Shavasana, slowly turn side and get up. Even in the morning or whenever you're doing asana or anything. Okay? So we are at the end of asanas. And as I said, according to WHO, one person who is having a healthy body, healthy mental state, and healthy social life is known as healthy person. Okay, just because she's thin, or just because she's lean, just because she looks happy in a like in face, doesn't mean that she's healthy. She should be healthy in 3 ways. Okay, then as I said, if you want to become a happy person, you should follow some ethical values, you should put some self restraints that will make you happy. And based on my grandma's experience, and even based on some like according to my guru, and even according to psychologist, or when you're according to doctors, when you're close to the nature, you are far away from the disease. But when you're close to disease, like when you're far away from the nature, you're close to disease. And when you're, I forgot, yes, that's what I wanted to tell. When you're close to nature, you're far away from the disease. But when you're not with the nature, you're not following the rules of nature, like I'm not telling you to eat grass, but when you are following a healthy diet, you're actually far away from the disease. That's what I wanted to convey you, which means I can say the one who is working under sunlight whole a day, they won't be affected by corona. That's what I told. When they're close to nature, they are far away from the disease. But people don't do exercise, don't eat healthy food, and they don't go under sunlight. They'll say I will be having some rashes, and they'll be putting all sunscreen. I'm not telling it's wrong, but when you're close to nature, that means when you're under a sunlight, it will boost your body or immune system, your body structure. If you want to become like I observed so many people who doesn't want to go under the sun, how they'll get vitamin D? They won't. Like that itself a deficiency in their body. So when you are close to nature, you are far away from the disease. And if you are going far away from the nature, and you're going closer to disease. That's it. So let's start with the Anuloma Viloma Pranayama. Keep your back straight. Put Nasika Mudre on your hands. Breathe in from left. Breathe out from right. Breathe in from right. Breathe out from left. Do it for 5 times. Make sure that your body is straight. Next is Brahmari, where you are doing humming with closing your mouth, and don't bite your teeth while closing your mouth. Open it. And Brahmari is very helpful for students, especially for them who are studying continuously. What I said in the last few asanas in the poses, when you are continuously studying and when you are continuously doing some work, do Brahmari in between. It will give some relaxation to your brain. Okay. Take a deep breath and do humming loudly as possible as. Okay, breathe in, close your ear lid, start humming. Mm. Breathe in. Mm. Breathe in. Mm. Relax. Next, Kapalabhati. It has a plenty of benefits. Like it is also one of the kriya in Hatha Yoga. Like by people will do yoga, asana. People will do asana, meditation, pranayama, everything, but they won't do kriyas, which is mentioned in yoga, the yoga. That is shat kriyas. It may be jaladauti, which is sutraneti, which you are putting a rope into your nose and you're taking out from your uh, mouth. Or it may be Shanka Prakshalana Kriya, which has a wide range of benefits in that. Shanka Prakshalana, it may cure diabetes, BP, everything. Or it may be Jaladauti, drinking, or Vastradauti, putting a cloth into your mouth. It's almost 3-meter cloth, and you're putting your cloth into your mouth, you're inserting it down, and you're taking it back. These are all some variations of kriyas, and Kapalabhati is one of the kriya, Shat Kriya in yoga. While doing Kapalabhati, some people often feel like dizzy, but if you are feeling dizzy, it's actually you're doing wrong. When you are doing Kapalabhati, do not concentrate on breathe in, concentrate on breathe out, forceful breathe out. Likewise, I will do it now. I'll show you now. You should do it minimum 100 times a day to get a better result. It actually improves your lung capacity. It actually cures asthma and many lung related issues. And it's very good when you're doing during cold. Like many people can watch what you're having with inside. Like I'm telling you, when you're having your cold, and some people can't do while they have a nose blockage, and at that time also it is actually beneficial. Take a deep breath and start humming. It's only about breathe out. It's nothing to do with your stomach. Automatically it will move, move, but should not do this. That is not Kapalabhati. It's all about breathing. Take a deep breath. Breathe out. Take a deep breath. Breathe out. Shavasana. Shavasana. After doing all asana or even meditation, Kapalabhati, you should do Shavasana for the relaxation of your body muscles, your mind, and don't think about what you're going to eat after this asana or where you're going this weekend. Okay, close your mouth, close your eyes, and spread your legs and shoulder. Relax yourself. Concentrate on the way of breathing. Now, turn side. Get up. Rub your hands. Touch your eyes. That's it for today. We are at the end of the session. So I hope you all noted the points what I shared with you. It may be about food, it may be about the habits, it may be about changing your way of life, it may be about thinking. I'm not forcing you to follow it, but if you're following, that is far enough, that's good. Let's do Shanti Mantra. You can sit in any comfortable asana, that is maybe Siddhasana or Vajrasana or Padmasana. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinamedhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. And if you are practicing only one day in a year and you are saying that you are practicing yoga, doesn't mean that you are practicing yoga. Practice regularly, especially in the morning, like Brahma Muhurta around 4 to 3:30, 3:45 to 5 or 4:30. That will be very good for even students also. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Ms. Vanilla, for leading this yoga session. We are extremely delighted and grateful for your insights and practical demonstration of the asanas.
Thank you so much, ma'am. At this point, I want to thank Physical Education Department, Vanisha ma'am, and even I want to thank our management for this wonderful opportunity. Which, like, as a student of this college, and I'm like, when you are saying I am a resource person, I feel very happy. Like, as a student, it's actually my pleasure to be a part of this event. And thank you so much for giving me this opportunity, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
We are very proud of you, Ms. Vanilla.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you. Participants, please note, we will be posting the feedback link in a while. You are requested to fill up the feedback link and you will be receiving e-certificates within a week. I now request Mr. Sudhir M., Assistant Physical Education Director, to deliver the vote of thanks.
Hello. Hello, madam. It's audible. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yes, thank you. Good evening, everyone. It's my pleasure to deliver vote of thanks of this webinar. First of all, I would like to thank today's resource person, Ms. Vanilla Manikanta, our own student from Civil Engineering Department, for a beautiful session on Yoga for Wellness. On behalf of entire St. Joseph Engineering College family, I thank Ms. Vanilla Manikanta for accepting our invitation and for sharing her knowledge. Thank you, Ms. Vanilla Manikanta.
Thank you, sir.
I wholeheartedly thank our beloved director, assistant director, and principal for giving us the opportunity to organize this webinar. I would also like to thank Mr. Ragesh Raju, Mr. Alistair D'Souza, Mr. Jitesh, and Ms. Jacinta from Press and Media Cell for all their helps and supports. I thank Ms. Pramila D'Souza for being a master of ceremony and Ms. Nisha Roj for welcome address. Thank you. I also thank Mr. Manjunath B, Sports Advisor, SJEC, and Ms. Vanisha Rodriguez, Physical Education Director, SJEC, for rendering their helping hand in organize this webinar. And finally, a big thank to all the attendees for your active participation. Thank you one and all. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. We have now come to the end of the webinar. I request the participants to kindly fill up the feedback forms by clicking on the link which is posted in the chat box. You will be receiving the e-certificates within a week. Thank you one and all. Have a great day.